Yonkers and Albert the three-quarters, Sculthorpe and Tommy Martin. Notable absentees there. No New Love, no Sean Long. No Kieran Cunningham either. Darren Britt, Mickey Hyam taking over from Cunningham. Shields, Stankovic, Bennett and Joint is the captain in loose forward. And the substitutes, Ward, Nicol, Stewart and Edmondson. The coaches, Ian Millward. Salford City Reds out to impress the new boss who's in the stands tonight. Broadbent, Hunt, Gibson, Littler and Arnold. Holroyd at standoff and Ian Watson in at scrum half. Bobby Goulding under a club suspension and under threat that he might not be here very much longer. Corvo, Alka and Baines the front row. Ebril, Treacy and Wainwright complete the forward pack. And on the bench, Southern, Coley, Hancock and Nicol. The director of rugby, who is coaching for the last time before Carl Harrison moves in, is Steve Sims. Ian Millward making his way across the field. 1 or 2 points to prove. And Carl Harrison, Steve-O, in the stands. He will be a very interested spectator.
Yeah, and I think the players will respond to that, mainly due to the fact our guest last night was Steve Sims, who is acting as coach today. He was pretty confident that they would make an account of themselves against Saints. But it is important that Salford get off to a very good start indeed. Lift their confidence as soon as possible.
Well, the deep kick-off from Graham Holroyd was caught by Tommy Martin. He tipped it inside to Peter Shields, first tackle of the match. And here is Sean Hoppy. Greeted there by the forwards, Mark Corvo and Neil Baines, the two props. St Helens will look to get out of the blocks pretty quickly.
Interesting move by Ian Millward, the Saints coach, that Hoppy is selected on that wing ahead of Anthony Stewart. Obviously he feels that the experience will come to the fore early in this match.
Mickey Hyam, not bad to have a replacement for a man like Kieran Cunningham, like Mickey Hyam, and he does well. Via Stankovic, he gets the ball away.
Well,
good defence from Salford.
He set the stall out, hasn't he, young Hyam?
There's Sculthorpe. Here now is Tommy Martin. Little change of direction. He finds Shields on the bounce, and well, St Helens still have hold of it somehow. Picked up by Darren Albert, and a little chip over the top from Albert. He's backed himself, flicks the ball back, and they'll get the knock on off Salford, I think. That was inventive play from Darren Albert. There's
Superb
the knock on.
Stuff. That was, well, it went backwards, I thought. Neat little chip over the top. Just shows you the speed of this fella. Trying to get the ball back there. Well, maybe Salford can feel badly done to.
Okay, let's go.
Well, it went backwards first of all, but then it went forwards definitely, and that's why Tommy Martin has the feed at the scrum. And here is Chris Joint, captain at loose forward, almost round Mike Wainwright. In fact, he was round Mike Wainwright, but not round Broadbent or Greg Ebril.
Problem for Salford in that defensive line. They're falling off the ball carrier, but that's better defence. That's good stuff. He's going for the whitewash and he's over it.
It was Stuart Littler who led the way, and Saints didn't like it. Paul Sculthorpe in particular was unhappy with the way that the tackle came in.
Well, plenty of aggression on view from the Salford side. And this is the sort of start that they like. He went pretty high, no doubt about it from Littler, but the man was moving in all directions, so therefore the tackle was incomplete.
So Salford have the possession from the scrum, and 2.5 minutes gone. They have the first use of the football as far as they're concerned. That is Mike Wainwright. And here they come again, Salford, but resolute defence from the Saints. Ebril to his feet, plays the ball to Alka, and here is Mark Corvo, Joint, and also there Hyam. Alka, captain for the day. Wainwright,
who was looking for the inside pass, a little bit slow to support. That's been one of the problems at Salford this season. They have not kept up with the ball carrier.
on halfway, Salford City Reds, and the kick from Ian Watson just finds touch easily.
Key figure as well, the halfback. Watson will have a big influence on the fact whether the Reds can play pretty solid tonight. He's got plenty of experience especially in the kicking department, and that's obviously a ploy that Steve Sims, the acting coach, has already told to them. Just make sure that it goes over the whitewash and get this one solid line of defence. But they've got to make sure that one goes down low and the other one tries to stop the offload.
Joint was tackled standing up, the referee shouting at the Salford players to clear the area so as Joint could play the ball, which he did. And it was Peter Shields who takes the next tackle. Hyam's pass went astray. This is the way it looks head to head. It doesn't really tell the full story till you look at what's happened in Super League. Look at that. Just one victory for Salford in the summer era, and that was in 1997 on this ground when Andy Gregory was the coach.
Well, we said he'd have some sort of influence, but I don't think Steve Sims would have liked the fact that it was Ian Watson all over the top, just not allowing the man to get up and play the football. It's a silly penalty to give away.
Stankovic, the dummy half. Here's Mickey Hyam taking it up, trying to go round Watson. He's lost the ball, and Salford get it back.
Good defence that. They're turning backwards, and you can see that the ball is being carried high and loose away from the body. You always run the risk of it coming out. Watson's high, and you've always got a great chance.
And in discipline here at the next tackle, and it's a penalty. Danny Arnold, the former St Helens player, now with the Salford Reds, and he was not allowed to get to his feet, and so Salford with the penalty. They're on halfway. Baines will trundle it forward 10 metres. Good run from the prop.
Gets through a lot of work as well.
Here's Corvo. Mark Corvo, the Australian. Last summer he was playing for Brisbane, featured in 8 games for them. And that's Darren Treacy, another import from Australia. Ulker, the dummy half. Watson comes to Holroyd. The runner is Broadbent.
Well spotted though.
Tackled well there by Mike Bennett, who's figured in each of the last 6 in Super League for the Saints. Watson again, showed it to Ebrel. Good hit by Yonkers, and also there helping out was number 12, Peter Shields. Dabbed through by Holroyd, well picked up by Wellens, and Wellens will counter-attack. Wellens backing himself, he's away from Broadbent, but a good funnel back by Danny Arnold.
Beautiful position there by the Saints full-back, and Salford were very, very slow. Here's a kick through, but then the charge, they didn't regroup quickly, and they're caught offside.
Yes, moving up too quickly at the play the ball, Salford, anxious to stop Saints, who looked for a moment there as though they were on a bit of a roll. No wonder Paul Wellens tried to attack. Hat-trick in both against Salford last year, so he knows how to score against the Salford City Reds. That's a great run from Darren Britt. Takes St Helens rather to within 5 metres of the line. Hyam, the dummy half. Peter Shields stands but can't deliver the pass. Has to take the tackle.
Good work by Broadbent. He went low. Left the rest of his charges to ensure that there was no offload.
This is Yonkers. Round Alan Hunt, and he's over the line, but did he drop that? Richard Silverwood will hand this on to tonight's video referee to check. It's Steve Cross who is in the booth, and he will have a look, and he will make his decision.
Well, no problem getting to the line, but did he lose it at the last moment? Yes, he did. That'll be NOTRY for me. I don't think I'll have to look at this too many times. That's the second one. I think that's quite convincing. Another angle perhaps, just to make sure. Yeah, he's lost it. No controlled downward pressure. So Salford Reds can breathe a big sigh of relief. There was a huge gap there. The defence held off for the big fella. Smart move by Ian Millward to put Tim Yonkers into the centre. He's done that a few times, only with John Stankovic, who's playing second row, but this will be no try.
It isn't. Yonkers losing the ball over the line. So 7 minutes gone. First decision by the video referee, and the question answered in the negative. It stays at 0-0.
Well, we're just over 7 minutes, Eddie, and Salford have already missed 7 tackles, and they can't go through a game like that. That really puts the pressure on your own side.
Yes, and they've lost their last 11 Super League meetings against the Saints. They sit bottom of the table. They have the worst losing run of 7 matches in the competition. There it is, 7 missed tackles. out of 31. Saints haven't missed 1 out of 20. Oh,
Would be well to hold on to that.
he did. He nearly offloaded Arnold, and then it went straight up in the air.
Well, I'm sure that Steve Sims would have got the message out very quickly. Come on, fellas, we've got to move a bit quicker. Got to get into the faces. That's a neat little chip over, but once again,
well read by Wellens.
Oh, he just reads it ever so well. When they switched him back to the full-back position, a lot of people raised their eyebrows, but hasn't he come through it well?
Well, Paul Wellens has to be a contender for the Lancashire side, which of course will be coached by Ian Millward for the Origin series, but from all accounts we've read in the papers today, Chris Radlinski had a blinder last night against London, scored a hat-trick, I think.
That was forward, but the official have let it go.
Well, the referee checks with his touch judges, they were quite happy.
Yeah, he had to reach forward to the full-back, Wellens.
So Saints in possession here. Wellens again. Yonkers tries to get the pass away and does. This is Sean Hoppy.
When you talk about Wellens, they'll have to include him, surely. I think they'll play Wellens in the centre.
Or Radlinski in the centre, perhaps?
Yep. Either way,
this is Wellens. Oh, the flick pass out the back door and picked up quite easily in the end by Mark Corvo.
Well, he's in the right position at the right time, but I'm not so sure that he was just having a bit of a rest there. Very fortunate. Well, Lady Luck is certainly on the side of the Reds at the moment.
That's not a bad little run, though, from Darren Treacy. And he's got the penalty.
Well, that's good thinking. The centre's away.
Stuart Littler, good run, making cheap yards. Not played terribly convincingly, but this is Baines now for Salford. Ulker is waiting at dummy half. Watson was waiting on the right. He's gone down the short side. Malcolm Ulker, Sculthorpe there, joint there also.
Well, they were caught asleep there, St Helens.
By this fellow, Littler, who finds Watson. Good ball then to Corvo. He was almost through. That was a very important tackle from joint. They're growing in confidence, Salford. Littler again. Gets the pass away. Danny Arnold on the bounce to Watson. Infield it comes to Holroyd. And Holroyd, well, he thought about firing a pass out wide and in the end had to just simply take the tackle from Yonkers. This is Wainwright. Stabs to the guts far too deep.
Unless yet again the ploy has been offered to this side by Steve Sims. It really wasn't an attacking kick. There's a quick tap, and look at the St Helens players just strolling back with their backs to the opposition. Not very professional. Mr. Gray. Millwood would have put that down in his little notebook. And will be mentioned at half-time, no doubt.
Martin gets the possession, but they were offside at the scrum, Salford, too quick.
Have to wait until the ball is cleared behind the loose forward's feet. A bit pedantic sometimes, but that is the rule.
Yes, well, if it's the rule, it's a penalty. Wellens, good ball to Yonkers. Good job that Damien Gibson was there. Gibson with a little bit of help from Watson.
Good play by Saints, so switching it from the inside and then coming back towards the touchline.
Hyam again, good ball there to Britt. This is Tommy Martin. Oh, just delayed the pass and Sculthorpe tried to release it.
Well, they thought that it was taken before he had the ball, but it wasn't that way. Littler, he read it well, so they couldn't keep hold of it.
Bit of a struggle for St Helens yet to stamp any authority on this game, and that's credit to Salford and this fellow in particular, Stuart Littler.
Well, they've got to make sure Salford go through their sets of 6 and just keep pegging away. They've got the ability out there, Holroyd and Watson. If they can combine and start taking charge, and who knows, they have a shock on their hands here.
12 minutes gone. Ulker to Wainwright. Looked at Broadbent.
Oh, no support yet again.
Broadbent went left. There was no one coming right on the diagonal. Ulker again. And once more, just a slam of the ball into touch. It's basic,
well,
but when you're at the foot of the table.
That's confirmed my my thoughts, is the fact that Sims, the acting coach, has said, listen, let's just keep eating up the time. As Eddie has just mentioned, it's basic, but when you're at the bottom of the table, you have to try anything just to confuse the opposition.
And to break up St Helens' attacking pattern, because they love to get it going out wide fast, don't they, the Saints? But that was slack, and Wellens was lucky to get away with it.
Well, there's been a couple of bad passes from Saints and a couple of knock-ons.
This is Gleeson now.
Solid run by the centre.
Hyam gets the ball away. Shields again.
Well, this is where the likes of Tommy Martin really has to take charge here.
Kick over the top, but it's out on the full.
And if they continue to come up with those schoolboy errors, you pay the price. They look a little bit too relaxed for mine, Saints. Not too impressed, Tommy. Neither is his teammates, no doubt. The coach. Well, a stop-start affair, which is playing right into the hands of the Salford Reds.
Watson to Wainwright, who stood out of the scrum, standing at stand-off, and here now is Gibson. Bennett had him on his back, and this is Ebril. And that ball came through and came free, but it's deemed to be a knock-on by referee Mr. Silverwood.
Just
and he's right too.
Just lost it with the impact. Good high shot from Mike Bennett, the second rower. In Millwood, well, he knows that they're a little bit 6s and 7s at the moment. But he's a patient coach, and he knows that his players are pretty patient as well. They'll just wait for the opportunity. They know that Salford missing far too many tackles, though they have tightened up in the last couple of minutes.
14.5 minutes gone, 0-0. The longer it stays at 0-0, the greater the Salford confidence factor will be. That was good work, though, and so was that. Good hands, Tommy Martin. Well hit, though, by Gibson. He still manages to get it away to Wellens.
Forward, surely.
And the referee agrees with you. That certainly was, anyway, the one to Hoppy from Yonkers.
Well, Yonkers was away. He was looking for glory. That's all right. This is the forward pass. And that looked a bit forward too, a bit dodgy. Either way.
That's the one.
Moment of doubt about the last one to Yonkers too.
Lancashire Yorkshire is the Origin game. Game 1 is exclusively live with us on Sky Sports 1, Friday the 14th of June at 8 o'clock. Lots of these players will be looking to participate in this series, and it concludes with Yorkshire against Lancashire. This one's at Headingley. The first match, by the way, is at Wigan. Is on Tuesday, June the 18th at 7:30, also on Sky Sports 1. And if it's 1-1 after the two matches, the second game will go to a golden point.
St Helens player down, can't just see who it is at the moment. But Saints down at 12.
Martin Gleeson, I think.
Yeah.
So St Helens defending this attack with 12 men, and it's with Corvo. Gleeson now is trotting his way back into the line, but in no great hurry. Wainwright with a little dink to the in-goal area, looking for Alan Hunt. Hunt has it, and there's a chance here for Gibson.
He's over.
He's touched down Gibson, but did he lose it? The referee's not convinced. He wants Steve Cross to check this out, but Damien Gibson and the Salford players, look, they think he's scored.
Well, it was a great kick there, and so do I. He reaches out. It's on the whitewash. They've got to decide whether the ball-carrying arm and the tackle has been completed. But I think he's moving forward at all times, and it doesn't take much. All it needs is a bit of white, and I think they're going to give this. This is T.R. Whitehouse.
Isn't that a double movement, Steve? Oh, no. He had the ball-carrying arm, or at least the ball was in both hands, so one of the elbows has hit the deck here when the tackle's completed.
Well, he's got to decide which arm was carrying the football. The left arm certainly... Well,
they both are.
I know, but his left arm hits it. And reaches...
Well,
he's moving.
That to me is a double movement.
You'd think so, but I don't know.
The referee, video referee, that is, he's still not 100% convinced either way.
Well, it's hit the whitewash as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'd be interested to see Ian Millwood's expression if this is given.
Well, he loves...
there, now there's hands on.
And he's moving forward.
Is he?
Yeah. He's stretching, because he's moving forward. It's slow motion.
He's hardly moving in that slow motion.
How slow do you want it? I'm going to go for T.R. White. Pretty confident. So's Gibson. So's the Salford lads.
Well, Gibson waits and watches and wonders, as we all do. The try is given. I thought there would be a little quizzical look on the face of Ian Millwood. Dubious.
Well, it was a good kick though, wasn't it?
It was a great kick.
Wainwright, and the ball's spinning backwards. Really, Hoppy had no idea where that was going. Wainwright get foot to ball. Hoppy, well, he arrived very late indeed. And full credit to it. Alan Hunt was up there quickly. And once it jogged back to Gibson, they were in.
And Graham Holroyd with kicking responsibility. Gives it a good thump, but misses. 4-0, Salford against the Saints.
Well, full credit to them. You've got to take your opportunities. It's been basic stuff from the Reds, but they'll be buoyed by that. A try from this fella.
Yes, he joined in the close season. Former Halifax and Leeds star, Damien Gibson.
Got plenty of pace as well.
He has.
Well, this could be the wake-up call that Saints needed, perhaps.
And it will be hoping Damien Gibson, that maybe is an omen, because his only other try this year in the Super League was here against Warrington in a home win. Their only home win, incidentally. They got 2 wins over Easter. One of them was that game against Warrington here. The other was at Halifax. It looked as though the Salford City Reds had turned the corner for Steve McCormack. But as they found it tougher and tougher, it was inevitable that McCormack would have to go. A shame, really, for a 29-year-old coach. But 4-0, it's not the scoreline that any of us would have predicted, Phil Clark.
Well, the one thing you could say about the Salford fans sat behind me at the moment is they certainly couldn't be accused of being greedy. They don't ask for much. If the players give 100% effort, they'll give 100% support, and they sound as though they're top of the league at the moment. But Steve McCormack wonders why his side couldn't have played with a passion like this before. But I think the try was a demonstration. Really, Salford do need good field position on St Helens to get a try. That's what they're trying to do now, force a mistake. With that sort of tigerish attitude, they've certainly a chance of doing it.
Yes, Wellens plays the ball quickly to Hoppy. There's a little more urgency in St Helens play now. They have had the wake-up call.
It's certainly gone Salford's way with possession. And
In the opponent's half.
Well, they've gone through the sets of 6. I said it was so important. Nothing overly fancy, but it's been effective.
Mickey Hyam to Sculthorpe, who drives it hard up the middle. Good tigerish tackling, though, from Watson and Olker. Olker just laying on a little at the play the ball to the last tackle. Hyam dabs it through. Danny Arnold collects it for Salford, the former St Helens star himself. And Danny Arnold needing 3 tries for 100, by the way, as Littler carries the ball forward. And he's a Super League original, is Danny Arnold. 4 tries on the opening night of the competition, or the opening weekend of the competition, for St Helens against Workington Town. Seems a long, long time ago now.
Sure is.
There he is, Danny Arnold, in at dummy half. Baines and Corvo.
But that was a nothing kick by St Helens, and Ian Millwood has got to get the message out there and say, come on, it's not a Saturday afternoon stroll, we've got to get into it.
Chip over the top, Wellens is after it, gets it on the bounce.
Chase is good.
The chase is good. Well, as Phil Clark said, Steve, on the sideline, Steve McCormack, if he's watching this at home, will be wondering where on earth this spirit and enterprise and endeavour was when he was here.
Well, it's an amazing thing, though, that when you announce a new coach, they'll either play for you and play for themselves to impress.
They're offside now.
Or they'll just have a little lethargy, and it was there in defence. They allowed Tommy Martin to run
A quick
free.
tap. Great ball. Oh, Darren Britt's pass to Martin, and Tommy Martin put it down.
It was a belter, and he knows it. Good work from the prop forward, Britt. It was Martin that started it. And good refereeing as well, even though Martin did touch a man that was offside. He played the advantage rule, and that was a perfect pass. And Tommy knows it. Look at the grimace on the face. Well, if this continues, that grimace will get worse. 2 chances. Yonkers early in the game dropped the ball over the line. And Tommy Martin has bombed a simple try opportunity.
Let's go. Stay in. Okay.
Looking only a shadow at the moment of the side, St Helens, that has run in 148 points in the last 3 games, despite injuries to the likes of Sean Long and Paul Newlove and Kieran Cunningham. They must be hoping that 2002 doesn't follow the same pattern as 2001, when injuries to key men disrupted them completely. This is Neil Baines, former Wigan, now at Salford. Alka infield to Corvo. And they'll be glad to see Corvo back. He's featured in 8 games, or rather he featured in 8 games for Brisbane last year, but he hasn't had the best start with his Salford career. It is. Referee wipes the tackle count down. Try scorer Gibson plays the ball to Alan Hunt, another former St Helens star. Challenge Cup wins and Super League title winner Alan Hunt in his days at Knowsley Road.
The Reds have had little to celebrate, Eddie, and this opening 22 minutes will certainly lift their spirits. Their confidence is strong.
This is Wainwright. He's got Ebril, and Ebril couldn't get a hand to it.
Is that
the referee.
From Oppie?
No, it's a knock on from Ebril. I thought he'd moved the hands away, but he must have actually touched it. It was a great ball from Watson to Wainwright. Oh, I don't think he did. I don't think he did touch it.
Didn't, and I think Hoppie comes up with the knock on. Good work though. And did he hit a St Helens player there? And does Hoppie knock on? I think he does. Yes, he does. It's only a slight one. Super play. Yeah, it certainly came off. I think it was Yonkers.
And that's why Salford have head and feet at this scrum. 20 metres in from touch, 10 metres away from the line. Watson again to feed, which he does, gets possession, and then he finds Darren Treacy. Takes the return pass, the Welsh international Watson. Back at Salford, he helped Widnes to promotion last year. Here is Broadbent, another former Widnes star, and one of the liveliest fullbacks around. He gets along with his business quietly and almost unnoticed here. This is Littler.
He's having a wow with the game as the centre.
And the tackle completed, just a metre short of the line. There's Alka, Watson, Corvo. Oh, Gibson just put the ball down.
Well, it was a set move. Gibson coming on the angle. He just took his eye off the ball at the crucial moment.
Nice run from Hyam. Here is Sculthorpe.
Pretty much one out though by the Saints.
Well, they haven't got going yet, have they, St Helens? 24 minutes gone.
They've lost their shape. As if they had one at the start of this game.
Big hit by Baines on Chris Joint.
He felt it too.
Darren Britt drives it up.
You've got to admire this young Baines, you know. He really does put himself about. Very popular here with the fans, of course.
Shields plays the ball to Hyam. He pinches a few yards. Good ball then to Sculthorpe, who gets away from Baines and can't get away from Broadbent. Flicked the pass, and it just wouldn't stick for Mike Bennett.
Panic yet again. Good work from Scully. And it was a desperation pass. Well, this must be becoming a bit of a worry for Ian Millward. I think he'd be pleased when he can get to talk to them at half-time. They're out of sorts.
Good drive forward again by Mark Corvo. 28 years of age, Corvo. That's Ebril. And this is Gibson. And now it's with Alan Hunt. Yonkers tackles Hunt.
Solid defence as well. They allowed Hunt nowhere to go.
Watson with the kick down the line.
It was over the mark. It wouldn't have been a 40-20, but
a great kick just the same. Hoppie having to come off his own try line.
And a good chase. A bit dodgy doing that underneath his sticks, but good work though by Albert. Come back and help the winger Hoppie.
Good defence as well from Wainwright and also Stuart Littler. This is Paul Wellens now.
Well, it was a holler start. 7 missed tackles in the first 7 minutes from the Reds, but they've sorted that out somewhat.
Shields again.
So Steve Sims will be very happy with this play.
Tenacious tackling from Salford. Martin gets the ball away. Hoppy inside Gibson, but nowhere for the New Zealander to go then. Stankiewicz.
But then again, Eddie, we see far too much one-out football from St. Helens.
Last tackle here. Sculthorpe. He's running it. He's through Corvo. Little ankle tap forward. Danny Ward just on. Thought he was on his way to the line. Barry Ward. Danny Ward plays for Leeds, doesn't he?
Sure does. And a fine game as well. And, Mr. Ward at Leeds, as all the Rhinos did. Can't say the same about St. Helens so far. He doesn't look wary in Millwood. I think he knows that perhaps the experience and, of course, the skill factor and speed will come into play late on, but he's got to be happy.
Worth just mentioning, actually, Steve Sims there, looking pretty content. The director of rugby, the coach of this Salford side for the last time before Carl Harrison moves in on Monday. It's worth mentioning that Salford actually beat Wigan here last year by 31 points to 30, and it marked the end of Frank Endicott's tenure at the JJB Stadium.
You're not suggesting that Ian Milner...
Not at all, not at all. Just a point of fact. Watson. Broadbent just couldn't take that pass.
Well, could that be the mistake that just gives Saints the green light? See the fullback just had a little look. He was coming into his face. Interesting to note that St. Helens have made 10 handling errors. Most unlike the Saints of old. They really do have to get themselves sorted out. And maybe a little bit more hard work and a little bit more support play. We've seen a couple of half breaks from Sculthorpe. Not many are backing him up.
Hyam now with the latest half break. Alker's after him. Alker and Baines. Good tackle, and they're turning the St. Helens players on their back when they're tackled, making it difficult for them to get up. Ward with a good run. That's better. And Darren Britt. Darren Britt with the try created by Barry Ward. He's a real hero, is Barry Ward on the terraces. And he's the man who has sparked St. Helens. And as you say, it was the mistake from Broadbent that might just, who knows, might just change the course of history. But the big fellow, Ward on the charge, and Britt in support.
Well, the two elder statesmen, shall we say. This fella made the break, he's 31, and the man scoring the try, he's 32. So between them, they have lifted St. Helens back into this match. It was good work, wasn't it? Nice step. Kept his calm and good support. Hasn't been much of that from Saints so far in this game, but that was superb thinking. And the combination of the two old-timers, don't mind me calling them that, but it's got St. Helens into a good position again.
The boot of Paul Sculthorpe gives St. Helens the lead. He has been standoff half for all since the cup final, 5 tries in them, and goal kicker as well in the absence of Sean Long again. 12 tries for Darren Britt in 13 years in Australia. First though for St. Helens for Darren Britt. He's missed the last 2. He came back against Widnes last week. 3 grand finals for this fellow in Australia for the Bulldogs, 94, 95, and as captain in 1998. 156 appearances for them in 8 years. Bags of experience. And now the try that gives St. Helens the lead. But a narrow lead after half an hour. Here's Barry Ward again. Oh, it does well to offload in the tackle. And again, it's Darren Britt who's feeding off him. Hyam to Sculthorpe.
They're combining well, aren't they? But pretty hot out there, but that won't worry Darren Britt. Australian, of course, and it's very hot where he comes from, in Orange.
Britt, still the boy from Orange, where they're famous for what, Steve-O?
Apples.
Hyam.
Don't ask me. I have no idea why they call it Orange.
Wide from Sculthorpe to Martin.
That was
A
forward.
little forward to Wellens it looked, but unable to be picked up by... That's forward.
Yep.
From Sculthorpe to Yonkers.
Well, they paid the price. The first one was anyway.
Well, the referee was bang in line with that, and there's crowd behind the post are going potty. And so is one of the St Helens players, by the way, as we watch this.
That certainly was forward, but could have been the one before it, and that certainly was forward too.
Well, he was going to put the scrum down. Someone has talked out of turn to Richard Silverwood, and now Salford have the penalty.
That was dodgy. Picked it up well though, didn't he? And well, Hoppy knew as soon as he got the ball that the official was going to pull them back for the scrum. As I say, Eddie mentioned, conceded the penalty. Comedy of errors for Saints at the moment.
Broadbent. Joint made a big grab at him. Sculthorpe dropped on him in the end to complete the tackle. Treacy, and here's Michael Hancock.
Okay, Barry! Barry!
Well, he'll go looking for work, won't he, Hancock, the former Australian star.
Oh,
lovely
great ball from Watson to Wainwright. Support from Holroyd. Salford in under the sticks. Well, Wainwright, Watson and Holroyd combining brilliantly, and Steve Sims sending down the message. And the body language thing I said, just let's get this conversion over and then calm down. We'll take the lead to half-time with us. Great try from Holroyd, and a worrying moment for Ian Millward.
Well, another error has allowed Salford to get back into this game. And it's a classy ploy, you know. They're using this fella way out off the fringe from the play the ball area. Neat work from Watson. Wainwright yet again makes the break. Coming at the right angle. Kept his cool, didn't he? And the standoff, Graham Holroyd. He'll enjoy that. I'm sure that the Salford Red fans will too. Not many bottles of champagne have been opened by both the players and the fans here this season. But that was a classy try.
It was a classy try. Holroyd scored it, and Holroyd improved it. It's 10-6 to the Salford City Reds. Just after Michael Hancock came on, by the way. I understand Bill has got some news of that change.
That's right, Eddie. Michael Hancock didn't have the best preparation for this game because on the way to the match this afternoon he was involved in a car crash. He wasn't injured, he wasn't a major shunt, but he was shaken up and was a little bit groggy when he got to the ground, but he's shaken that off by the look of things, and certainly Saints are shaken at the moment, Phil, and the Salford supporters behind us in great voice. Not what we were expecting.
No, I just looked at the faces of both sets of players as Holroyd went over for that try. Both of them looked as shocked as one another. I don't think anybody was expecting this. And I think really now uncharted waters for Salford. And really whether they can keep the cool and carry on playing is the big test for them. I think the worrying element really is St Helens have offloaded a lot in the tackle so far. It hasn't come off to date, but it's one of the areas where St Helens traditionally hurt their opponents. I mean, there's one of the Bradford Bulls offload more in the tackle than the St Helens side. And once it starts to click, Salford could be under pressure.
Watson again with the kick to turn St Helens round. A great kick too. Wasn't a 40-20. He was just outside the 40-metre mark. Well, it means that they can hunt the mistake again near the Saints line.
And again, the ploy, and they utilised very early in this match, deliberately kicking the ball over the whitewash.
Nothing fancy about it, is there?
Well, it also just stops your opposition from getting the roll on, and we know what St Helens are capable of doing if they can make it suffer. But at the moment, I think it's 11 handling errors already. And if it doesn't stick, then you can't score the tries.
And look at the kicks in general play. Most of them from Salford to find the touchline, but 8 of them, and it has disrupted Saints to some degree. Now Salford have given away a penalty for offside at the play the ball, though.
Well, they wanted to get on with it quickly, but there was plenty there in front of the official, Mr. Silverwood. It's desperate times for Saints now. They know how important it is to score just before the half-time break. But we haven't seen the flowing movements that has become so famous. It's been more of a forward battle, a one-out battle, when Sculthorpe and Tommy Martin are not combining at all. They are now.
That was Sculthorpe. This is Paul Wellens. That's Yonkers, and he's gone without the ball.
Play the first knock on.
Which was by Tim Yonkers.
Well, Well, as Sean McRae would say, it's becoming a knock-on-a-thon. So many opportunities and so many times they've blown it. He's cool. I wonder if he'll be that way in the sheds at half-time.
4 minutes to the break. 10-6 Salford.
There's so many errors, Eddie. I don't know about eating an orange. I think Mr. Millwood might be throwing an orange at them. They certainly need something.
Oh, well done, Hancock. Offloads brilliantly. And that's Ebril. Alker. The confidence to take them on himself, but a heavy challenge by Sculthorpe. It sometimes amazes me how these rugby league players take the big hits and then just simply get up as though nothing's happened. That was dragged out, and he's offside.
Was it a knock-on first from Saints? I think we'll find that it might be. We'll go to the touch judge.
That one.
Did Stankovic touch it? That's a
It was knocked
knock-on.
forward by Watson, and surely Coley was offside. And he was.
Yeah. I was just wondering whether Stankovic got a fingertip to it. He didn't. Watson certainly did. Well, batten the hatches. That'll be the word from Steve Sims now. Say, come on, we've done so well. Let's not just fold just before the break.
Yes, 3 minutes.
It's important that Salford go in to the sheds with a lead.
This is Hyam. They are swarming round the man with the ball, and they're forcing the errors from St Helens and making it very much one out for them. This is Sculthorpe. Here is Wellens. Now Yonkers. Hoppy. He's in. Scores a level, and Ian Millwood is on his way to the dressing rooms. New Zealander Hoppy. 3 tries in his last 3 matches. And he's added to that tally, and the scores are level with kick to come.
Well, it's the first time that St Helens have strung together so many passes, just created the overlap. Alan Hunt sucked in, and it was a classic try from the New Zealander. But this was superb. Halfbacks did combine well there. Yonkers a superb offload. Alan Hunt had gone looking for the big centre. This is where it all came about from the penalty, because he was offside. There's little doubt about that. It was, and from it, for once, St Helens, they make it stick, but they create a classic try. It was wonderful work from Yonkers.
Good stuff from St Helens. Hoppy, great record recently, hasn't he? It's 10-all at the Willows on this balmy night, and Paul Sculthorpe again with the opportunity to give St Helens what I must say is a bit of an undeserved lead at half-time if he kicks this. He will feel he's been mugged, Steve Sims. Last defeat, by the way, for St Helens against Castleford, and they were 18-0 up after 18 minutes. They eventually fell to a 22-36 defeat. Amazing night at the Jungle. This could be an amazing night at the Willows, the way it's shaping up. Sculthorpe kicks the ball so well. They have a lead at 12 points to 10, and we're on the stroke of half-time. And there's the try scorer, former New Zealand international, played for the New Zealand Maoris in the 2000 World Cup. And the coaches, great friends. Messrs Millwood on the left and Sims on the right. Both of them formerly in charge of the League Club, not far away from here. But Ian Millwood, he will feel the luckier of the two, with St Helens ahead by 2 points, as we are just seconds away now from the half-time siren. And there it is, no time for Graham Holroyd to get us underway for the remainder of this half. So Hoppy's try, converted by Sculthorpe. Holroyd try gave the City Reds a 10-6 lead with 8 minutes to go. He's done a good job, Steve Sims. Basic stuff, as we've been saying, but effective. Knocking St Helens out of their stride. But the Saints are ahead by 12 points to 10, perhaps crucially, at half-time. Not vintage St Helens. Dogged from Salford. but the Saints leading at the break.
And they really didn't look at home at all. In fact, they were woeful. A lot better performance today.
Well, they lost here 74-16 to Castleford as well in April, the biggest defeat of the season for anyone. But this week, they're giving the Saints a real run for their money. I think everybody turned up expecting the Saints to win in a canter. Not so. And a lot of people say that there are no such things these days as easy matches in the Super League.
Well, I got the impression in the early part of that first half, Eddie, that St Helens arrived here thinking that it was going to be an easy win. Still plenty of time to go, though, and it's important now that the Reds really just keep pegging away. Their sets of 6 was pretty good in that first half, and they need that again, and no doubt they'll utilise the ploy to kick to the sidelines.
Well, there is Watson with the kick cross field. It's not going to make the sidelines, but Watson has had as much influence on this match as anyone so far, and that's a great chase, a really enthusiastic chase led by Hancock and Damien Gibson. Let's get the half-time news. What was said in the dressing rooms, Bill?
Well, Eddie, you used the word there, enthusiasm. That's what Salford had in the first half, and that's what Steve Sims wants from his side in the second half. As much enthusiasm, a bit tighter round the ruck in defensive terms, because that's where Salford feels Saints have punished them and could be punishing them again in this set of 6. But really, Steve Sims delighted with that performance. Not so Ian Millwood. They bombed 3 chances. They didn't show as much commitment as their opponents did in that first 40 minutes, and they didn't complete as well as their opponents did. They need to fix all that, and then they're on their way to victory.
Thanks, Bill. Oh, Stankiewicz popped the ball up. It's the turnover. They were caught on the last. But didn't Wainwright get a hand to that?
Well, it looked that way, didn't it?
Should that not have been 6 more for St Helens?
Yep.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I think he got a fingertip to it. Either way, the official saw it as him just knocking the arm of the ball carrier. Well, again, another mistake from St Helens. I don't think Ian Millwall would be too impressed with the way that they're not setting up for the kick.
That's Andy Coley. And Watson gets it away to Hancock. Stankiewicz with an important tackle.
Could have been penalised as well for a second dig.
Holroyd. Ball on the inside to Ebril. Good pass, but a good tackle from Mike Bennett. There's the kick from Holroyd. This is a tester for Sean Hoppy. Hunt.
What's someone take now?
Well, Hunt hit the deck and he was looking for a penalty. It was not forthcoming.
Good work, though. Hoppy certainly getting there in position. Remember, it was Hoppy that missed that kick from Wainwright that allowed Salford to score the first try.
Mickey Hyam, Barry Ward, back to Hyam and on to Sculthorpe. Space here maybe for St Helens. Sculthorpe thought about the pass out the back door to Martin, but held on, and Hancock's all over him.
Well, we know what they were capable of. I mean, when
Darren Brick, great ball to Ward, and a good pass then from him to Joint.
just saying, just before the half-time break, when they did get the ball across the three-quarter line, that was one of the few occasions that Sculthorpe and Martin, the 2 half-backs, created something.
Gleason's pass, not the best, and Treacy accepts the gift. They were running it again on the last tackle, St Helens.
Well, I just can't believe that. Well, credit to Salford, they got back in numbers. Scrambling defence. We nearly dropped that then.
Danny Arnold, Barry Ward all over him, and there we are. There are the telling statistics. 20 times Saints had the ball, and only 5 times did they complete a set of 6. Barry Ward, meanwhile, has been penalised for messing around as Arnold tried to get to his feet. Andy Coley now, and Saints have run it on the last tackle 4 times, the power play. Salford have been kicking well.
And they've been kicking early as well in the tackle counts.
Alka, good run. Stankiewicz greeted him. He got away from him, couldn't get away from Joint or Mike Bennett.
Well,
Michael Hancock's in at dummy half.
St Helens need a little bit more fire in the belly.
Good ball there from Holroyd to Broadbent. Good tackle by Darren Britt. Ebril, Watson. Good ball to Wainwright.
Oh, dropped it.
He had it stolen, and it's a penalty offside against St Helens.
This will be a gift, 2 points. Well, I thought for a moment there that Wainwright dropped it. Well, he certainly stepped up, not just one cog, a lot of cogs as well. Just spun around like a ballet dancer.
Well, Wainwright appealed to the referee immediately. The ball was knocked out of his hands, and Mr. Silverwood agreed. And Holroyd's going to have the kick at goal here to level the scores. But it was a lovely ball that found Wainwright. Well, I think he's just lost that.
That's what I thought. That was my first thoughts when according to the official. But look at that. Not the best from Mickey Hyam.
Oh, Yonkers did get a hand to it.
Yep, you're right.
And Holroyd has kicked the goal.
Different angle.
Referee getting some stick from the St Helens supporters and questioning his decision, us two, but this picture will show you he's absolutely right. Watch Yonkers' right hand. There.
Ooh. Does he drop it before? I think he's lost possession before Yonkers gets to it.
Well, it's easy for us to say when we're watching it frame by frame, but the referee has one look. And
well,
the impression was at full speed that Yonkers got a hand to it.
I must be ill. I'm agreeing with you.
12 all at the Willows.
Too much sun, I think, today. Been a while since we've had some of that.
Yes.
Bun.
Yes, let's have more, please, but don't wear the shorts again, will you?
A lot of things upset you, don't they?
Those legs do. Coley to his feet and plays the ball to Hancock. It's Broadbent. You might have noticed Sonny Nicol has come off the bench. This is Hancock. Nicol and Shields returning. Long ball from Watson to Holroyd, and then further wide to Littler. And back on the inside to Arnold. Oh, he's late with that.
He's very late.
He's late with that whistle, Mr. Silverwood. It wasn't the pass to Arnold, it was the one to this fellow, I think.
Well, I thought it was dodgy when it first came through. Certainly a 50-50. And Stuart Littler was absolutely amazed. Yeah, that's a forward pass. He's in front of the man. You can't even bring in the momentum rule to play. But I'm with you, Ed. It was a long, long time, wasn't it? The official out there with a whistle. But just caught the eye of the merry flag waver.
Shields, the decision was right. All we're saying is it was a little late.
Okay, now. Clear.
Hyam, the dummy half, on the bounce, and Sculthorpe not interested, so Gleeson has it eventually. Martin Gleeson away from Olker, straightens things up. Gleeson. Good ball then to Sonny Nicol. Nicol picking up pace. Trying to drive over the top of Broadbent. The fullback did well.
Great tackle on the big fella.
Wellens. Here's Hyam. Hyam attacking the line. Good tackle again from Ebril. Sculthorpe. Shields. Chris Joynes. It's one of those nights.
With the dark glasses just hiding the anger in the man. Well, he's had a very quiet game. Normally he takes charge, leads by example. A fine servant to St Helens, but I just wonder, Eddie, whether this maybe the sun is affecting him.
Maybe so. Here is Littler.
Okay, let's move, Jim.
It's not vintage St Helens. We saw vintage Leeds at Headingley last night, and the next appointment for the Saints is next Friday against Leeds at Headingley. It is a match that you can see and enjoy with us on Sky Sports 1 Friday at 7:30. But while we maybe are critical of the Saints, let's take nothing away from this Salford side.
That's a good kick.
It is a good kick.
The fullback and the winger. And it will just bobble around.
And look at the chase.
Excellent. Oh, good work from Albert, though.
Coley eventually getting to him. They'll be glad to see Coley back. He returned against Hull last week. He's been badly missed. And a knee reconstruction.
Two, hit the line.
And they've had to be patient to get Andy Coley back in the side.
Tracy, come on!
Here's Sonny Nicol. Good drive from Nicol. Taking 3 to bring him down.
Certainly making an impact, and Ian Millwood looking towards his subs to change things around.
Tommy Martin, couple of little dummies, feigns, only got the ball away to Gleeson, but he's all wrapped up by Danny Arnold and Malcolm Olker and Graham Holroyd coming in as well. Martin again, captain joint. The other captain, Olker, completing the tackle. Martin and Sculthorpe, and wide it goes to Yonkers, who's got Hoppy, and Alan Hunt tries to force him over the line, and
On yet again.
terribly, terribly untidy.
Well, this is a shadow of a side that actually took Leeds apart in the semi-final of the Cup. But full credit to them. Hunt did work. Some good work there. Pushes Hoppy to it. They did pass on the inside, and there you see it under pressure. Yet another error.
That's 2! Come on, Mickey!
They've run out of ink, I think, Ian Millwood, before this game's over.
Hancock, good ball to Holroyd. Away from Gleeson, not away from Bennett. Watson. Oh, intercept! Tommy Martin! He's got Albert with him in support if he needs him. Tommy Martin all the way to the line, and an easy gift and interception, but it took scoring by Martin. Read the script well and had the pace to outstrip Danny Arnold. So Tommy Martin, his first try since April against Widnes last week. Like buses, they've come in twos for Tommy.
He took the gamble. That could have been a try the other way, and it often is, but he did well. And he's like a sleeping cobra, this fella, isn't he? Didn't see much of him in the first half, and then he just bites. And it's a bit of poison to this Salford Red side. Well spotted. He's done that several times throughout his career. And if you've got to go for the intercept, you've got to feel confident about it. And he's certainly a confident player, this fella. Now then, will that just set them alight?
And by the looks of things, Tommy Martin enjoys playing here at the Willows, doesn't he? Paul Sculthorpe then. 2 from 2 so far tonight, 100%. This a degree of difficulty. But Sculthorpe taking his time. Very precise, the goal kickers in Super League, aren't they? Ben Walker, although I must say Ben Walker got a shift on last night. But Paul Sculthorpe just taking his time. The reigning man of steel, and after all that, he's drifted at the wrong side of the posts. 16-12.
Well, there's a cagey coach, Ian Millwood, and I just wonder whether perhaps he looked pretty calm in that dressing room at half-time, Eddie, and I think perhaps he said to him, look, let's not panic, let's just go through the motion. He feels perhaps that the Reds will just tire late in the game, and maybe he thinks the same way, so they're not out of this game though, but they certainly need to come up with a surprise package. St Helens' defence in the second half has been pretty solid.
I wonder if Ian Millwood is keeping his emotions under wraps these days. Certainly he is as inanimate as I've ever seen him.
Well, to be fair, he's had an up and down season personally when you think about it. He's come out with quite a few comments. He's not shy to say a few things to the media, the written press.
Well, we wouldn't have him any other way on Sky Sports, I'll tell you that. And I hope they haven't knocked the enthusiasm out of him, because when he celebrates, and when he questions, he questions. Bennett. Hyam inside to Sculthorpe on the last, and the kick over the top is not the best. Oh, it's sat up in the in-goal area.
They were a little bit
They were all waiting for that.
There, yeah, Broadbent thought he was going. It's amazing what a rugby league football can do. Boom, whoops. Let me get back into the field of play.
And by the time all that happened, the St Helens wall of defence had arrived.
I was just about to say that it was a nothing kick from Sculthorpe. Turned out to be okay.
Alka, and here's Ian Watson.
And you can see there a great example of how the St Helens defence has improved in this second stanza.
Holroyd's gone for a 40-20 here, and that's kicked the wrong way. Stands up, and Darren Albert. Well, the crowd buzz whenever Albert gets hold of it because he's one of the quickest. This is Wellens, and Michael Hancock did well then. There was a little second effort though at Wellens' ankle, and Hancock again. Well, that's interesting. Paul Southern comes on. Not long ago, Paul Southern was on loan to St Helens. Now he's back at Salford and facing St Helens.
Mike, come on.
Sculthorpe. Nickel. Coley and Paul Southern with the tackle. Long ball from Sculthorpe wide to Stankovic. Here's Hoppy, back to Sculthorpe, who supported the move, and Sculthorpe cuts a dash through the middle. Coley did well. He got on to Hyam.
He was stopped.
Well, he's allowed to play on. This is Wellens. This is the last tackle now.
It looked to me as though Hyam was halted, according to the official.
Sculthorpe looking to get the ball forward. Yeah. Stankovic was stood about 1.5 meters in front.
And he's blowing up. And he's every right to his Sculthorpe.
Well, ball carrying on was not touching the deck. They released him.
Sculthorpe made that break, and he was asking the question as to why there was no support earlier. He got plenty of time to offload. He had to just let it go. It might have gone through. Saying that it should have been a little bit later call.
Now then, here is Littler, who was impressed tonight. Just couldn't get, and that tackle is not completed either. And Littler doing it on his own and spinning his way through them. Eventually brought to ground by Hyam. That's lifted Salford supporters. That's lifted the Salford players. Here's Watson, and he's dropped it under pressure from Tommy Martin. It was almost just a shoulder charge that from Martin. Not a tackle, but it did enough to dislodge the ball. It was a push.
He just pushed him. Enough.
Well, actually, that came off the knee of the Salford player.
But
in the tackle.
It was always going forward, Eddie.
And it was Michael Hancock.
Hancock had no idea that he was going to use his leg. He was getting involved in the tackle, but the momentum of that ball was forward.
Well, that's why St Helens were querying the call from Mr. Silverwood. Wellens now.
An important facet of play for the Salford Reds. They've got to make sure that they can just keep this St Helens side pinned down in their own half.
Would have been interesting if that decision would have been given to the video referee to adjudicate on, by the way. Just wonder what his decision might have been, because the hands looked as though Sculthorpe was trying to throw the ball backwards, and it came off that Salford knee of Michael Hancock.
I don't agree.
Well, you wouldn't. This is Mickey Hyam, now Peter Shields, and in front of Martin, but on the bounce to Stankovic, wrestled to the ground by Watson, who's done as much as anybody for the Salford cause tonight. Shields to Sculthorpe, a couple of dummies, support, no crossing.
This cross, well, he's trying his hardest, is this fella. He certainly is the one that's got plenty of style, and it was a neat offload. I thought there was a doubt about that final pass. Richard Silverwood, the official. So that fellow will not have him on his Christmas card list.
Ian Millwood, by the way, had a meeting with his assistant coach for Lancashire, Paul Cullen, this morning. They're already plotting the downfall, they hope, of Yorkshire for the Origin Series. A very important Origin Series it is as well, with places on the plane for the one-off test against Australia in July. There's the Origin Series, 14th and 18th of this month, and the information line number 0113 232 911, normal office hours, and that means next week The Rugby Football League will be open for business on Wednesday.
Well, they're claiming that it was knocked out, and it was. And that's a bad mistake by the touch judge and Mr. Silverwood.
Well, when you're at the bottom, things don't go for you, do you? They don't get little decisions like that.
Well, Alka got up after retrieving the ball, which should have been back to 6.
Oh, it's come loose.
It's got to be a penalty.
Knock on.
Oh, dear me. What on earth is happening? Gleeson's going bananas. Is there let me have a look. Is there a touch judge down there? Yes, there is. I can see the flag.
Well, that was
2 on 1. It should have been a penalty.
2 men involved in the tackle, definitely. Watson and Littler.
Yeah, Stuart Littler drags the ball away.
Well, an hour of the match gone, 20 minutes remaining. St Helens 4 points to the good, but that's not a winning lead, is it, Phil Clark?
Not at this stage, no, Eddie, and I think the Salford players sense have a real chance of winning this game. But to do something you've not done before, you have to move out of your comfort zone, and the Salford players need to lift now in this last quarter.
They're trying it now, and Alka switches the direction of this attack. Holroyd to Jason Nicol. Nicol almost through the gap. Stankovic and Yonkers having the devil's own job to pull him down. Salford is 6 metres away from the line. Alka is there. Here is Watson. Watson darting! And Wellens with a very important tackle.
Great ball and all effort from the full-back. It had to be as well.
Now then, will Alka try and poach one? No, we'll give it to Nicol, who will. Good defence again from St Helens. Last tackle here, though. Danger still not over.
They've got to go for the kick into the in-goal. No, Alka, well, it's not the best effort from Alka.
Good defence, St Helens. Well, that's got to be a penalty.
Yep.
That's got to be a penalty.
Well, the touch judge is supposed to help the man in the middle. And have they gone for a cup of tea?
No, I've just checked. There is one on this side. Now they get the penalty.
So frustrating. Not the best effort from Alka. It'd have been better.
You're not allowed to do that, are you?
No.
Hold your line!
You're not allowed to do that
either.
Tommy Martin on the inside to Nicol, who called.
One! Move!
First tackle.
Move!
Standing a lot deeper now, St Helens.
Hyam to Martin. Here's Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe almost through a half gap. Alka, though. Yes, he's doing well. Yonkers. Martin. Martin delaying. Stankovic. Back to Wellens. You can't break this solid Salford defence, though, with any ease, can they? Martin. Not the best. On the bounce to Sculthorpe. Back to Gleeson. Gleeson's in. And he brings it back underneath the posts to make the conversion a lot simpler for Paul Sculthorpe. Martin Gleeson with the try. His 4th of the year. The former Huddersfield man who arrived this winter, one of the form players in Super League 7. But very untidy, the build-up.
Yeah, it certainly was, but neat work yet again from Sculthorpe. I know one thing that Ian Millward, the Saints coach, will be happy to think that he's got Sculthorpe out there. He really is the only one that can hold his hand up and say, well, I know I've played well. Good work by this fella. Had a great start to the season. In fact, to me, he was one of the form 3 quarters in Super League. And it's just what the doctor ordered, but neat work from Sculthorpe. It was a wayward pass that bounced kindly. Tommy Martin missed about 4 or 5 players out, which obviously will be the ploy now. And the big question that you've got to ask is, this Salford side, will their heads go down? It's psychologically it'll be difficult for them, but he'll be angered by the fact that the officials missed when the knockout, deliberate knockout, when Alka went through a few moments ago, and they paid the price.
Sculthorpe adds the extras. It's 22 points to 12. It's a 10-point lead. It should be enough against the team at the bottom of the table, but Salford have had a few surprises for us all here this evening. But Gleeson's try, improved by Paul Sculthorpe, has at least given St Helens a little breathing space in this final quarter of the match.
They They always say it's a mark of a champion side that even when they're out of sorts, and I'm like you, Eddie, I don't want it to sort of take anything away from the Salford effort. They really have put themselves about in the defensive line, but it always is a great sign when you see a side that can still produce it when they're a little bit off form, and they'll be happy to, that's if they go on to win, they're quite happy to take the 2 points on offer. Vital 2 points in the league as well.
They are for both of them, to be fair. Sonny Nichols done well here, done really well. They're vital for St Helens to join forces with Leeds and Bradford at the top. They're vital for Salford to get off that bottom rung in the ladder. Warrington and Bradford 24 hours hence. Well, a little less than that now. Well, when Hancock appeared earlier, Salford enjoyed a purple patch. This is Barry Ward. Alka, by the way, is in the blood bin, I'm told, with a cut lip. And that is the official news.
The official news.
Knock on.
Well, if I was Ian Millwood, I think I'd give my skipper a bit of a rest. He looks very tired, lethargic. I don't know whether he came into this game carrying some sort of an injury, but he certainly looks out of sorts, Eddie.
And the Salford man lying in front of him. Some official might have penalised him. This now is Gary Broadbent.
They've got to take a gamble now on the Salford side. They've got to try to keep it alive, just get back into this game. 10 points is not too many to drag back, but they need something to lift their spirits.
Baines might provide it.
They certainly go forward. Makes good progress. Gets over the advantage line nearly every time he gets the football.
Hancock at dummy half, Watson. And there's nothing there at all.
Well, they'll try to force it.
It's Michael Wainwright. I was looking for the head guard. It's obviously a warm night.
Was he taken out first by Hoppy before he got to the football there? And yet another mistake.
Wait till 5.
Barry Ward.
Unusual to see him out of the pack and playing a standoff.
Well, Ian Millwood employs a play anywhere philosophy for all of his players. That's why Yonkers, for instance, is operating in the three quarters tonight.
Well, he certainly played his part as Barry Ward when he came off the bench, but this is being the difference, this guy here.
Okay, clear!
When they needed someone to dig deep and show them the way, then Scully has done it.
Good tackle there, though, by Baines again on Paul Wellens. Nicky Hyam to Tommy Martin. And wide to Hoppy. And just falling off the tackle a little bit now are Salford. A flick pass. Sculthorpe on, it goes to Hyam. Here is Yonkers. Big clatter by Stuart Littler.
A bit high as well. Got away with it.
Saints flooding forward. This is Martin for a second. Tommy Martin touches down. I think that's curtains for Salford. I think that is game, set and match to the men from Knowsley Road. And Tommy Martin with his second try of the evening. Well, they just had too much power then.
I suggested that this fella have a rest. Chris Joint, and for the first time he comes on the angle and creates the gap on the inside. Tommy Martin gleefully accepts it. Good work there by the skipper. Well, I'm sure he will agree it's at a quiet game. But I have to agree with Eddie now. I think it's a bridge too far for the Reds.
Brave effort, though. Very brave effort from the team at the bottom. But Tommy Martin, his second try here, makes it 26-12. The kick to come, it should be 28-12. Paul Sculthorpe lining up his fifth kick at goal. Well, the run of Salford, with just 7 league wins in the last 30 years against St Helens, and 6 of them here, is not going to be improved. When you think that Salford were the champions twice in that period, it's an incredible record that St Helens have against this team. 28-12 it is.
Well, they can breathe a sigh of relief now. It looks to be all over. Joint did ever so well, didn't it? Flick on the inside. As ever, Tommy Martin alert to support the man. Pretty lax in that department in the first half. But
good ball, he said to his captain then.
It was. The thing is, Eddie, now that the fact that Sculthorpe added the extras, the Gremlins now perhaps will be bouncing around in the heads of the Salford players. And let's hope that they dig deep yet again. I think they've shown enough to their new coach, Carl Harrison, that something to work with.
There is. It's been a spirited display, even though now with less than 10 minutes to go, you would expect it to be in defeat.
Yeah.
Nickel.
But a few games this season, Eddie, if you'd have seen those, Carl Harrison, I think he might have thought long and hard. Oh, he dropped that, Nickel.
He did.
I think he would have thought long and hard about taking over the position. He was coming along nicely under the tutelage of Brian Noble at Bradford.
A lot of people will raise an eyebrow that he's accepted the challenge. You know, he's left a safe seat almost, hasn't he, if you were talking about a general election.
Yeah, but you've got to take the gamble, and Bradford certainly did when Matthew Elliott went.
Oh, that's a nice chip over from Holroyd. Gibson's after it. Albert's there as well.
Good stuff.
Darren Albert takes the ball with Gibson over the dead ball line. Lovely little dink over by Holroyd.
Inventive play. As I say, they're not throwing in the towel. Chip right over the top. And that's really a great kick and a great tackle. But offside, and the referee says get back. And that's the reason why Holroyd saw the opportunity. It worked from the wing at Albert. It had to be as well. The quick thinker is Graham Holroyd, but good work from that fella. Had to be two.
Just waiting while a young lady, who I think is feeling the heat somewhat, is led away from the field.
Well, if you mix liquor with the sun, Eddie, it can affect you.
Come on, guys, work!
Big tackle by Barry Ward and Mike Bennett on Mark Corvo. Here is Wainwright again.
Let's move! Good job!
This is Alka.
He's worked hard.
I was about to say exactly that.
And he's done a lot more running from dummy half. I know he's had a few problems with injuries this year.
Watson switches it to Holroyd, who also has worked hard. Jason Nickel.
Well, you see
drags him to the floor.
You see they work in the crisscross move. The only problem with Salford at the moment is that you need someone running off the ball as well.
That's great hands. This is Watson. It's a try here. Great try. And it's Paul Southern.
Neat little offload. We said they wouldn't throw in the towel.
The St Helens crowd are going potty about something, but Paul Southern, back from the loan spell at St Helens, his first appearance since the big loss to Castleford here as a substitute, and he's come up with a try, and it was wonderfully fashioned.
That was great work, wasn't it? Been a big game as the scrum half in Watson. Watch this. This is superb. Through the dummy, and they kept it alive. Wainwright, who's also had a big match. He'll enjoy that. Paul Southern. Easy meat for this fella.
2 more points to Salford, 18 points to 28. It was
Beautiful
a good pass.
He took it well, didn't it? It was just going behind him.
St Helens fans crying out for a forward, but that was never an option because it was never forward. And Southern.
Well, it was quick thinking also by Watson with the fact that he didn't just put it in the breadbasket, which would have been a 50-50 perhaps, and run the risk of the official bringing it up for a forward. But he made sure that it was just behind him, and it was well taken there by the substitute, Southern.
And Jason Nickel now for Salford from the kickoff. 6 minutes to go.
That must have brought a big smile to Carl Harrison, the new coach here. Watson is only 25.
Well, there is plenty for Carl Harrison to build on, you feel, Phil, in the last second half of this season.
Yeah, it's such a pity that Salford haven't played this well against maybe sides that will feature in the bottom half of the league table. They may have come up with 2 points on that occasion, but I think the fans may go home happy tonight. All they ever wanted is their team to give of their best, and they've certainly done that tonight, but I just think there won't be the time for them to get back and win the points.
Last tackle here for Salford on the halfway line. Watson, little dink over the top, and he gets the penalty because Mike Bennett moved and took him out.
Didn't move much, but it was sufficient to convince the official. Yep, as I mentioned, this Ian Watson has got the full bag of tricks, and he's marshalled his troops. He's led them by example as Watson. He's been involved in nearly everything that has brought the points for Salford. Along with Wainwright, who probably is the best game I've seen him have for quite some time.
Baines did well to Alker. It's with Watson. It's now with Southern again. Well, you know, if Salford score here, we might have given the game to St Helens, but the Salford City Reds haven't. Good hands, Alan Hunt, great hands, Gibson, just into touch, and then up the terrace and into the crowd.
A big smile from those two young kids who gets very close to one of the heroes. Yeah, that's good defence.
Big hit
stuff
from Martin.
Yeah. Nice pass from Hunt. Boom. Did everything right. Tommy knew that if he went low, perhaps this guy could squeeze in. Hello, young fellas and young lady.
Close-up view of the star of Super League, Damien Gibson, or one of the stars of Super League, Damien Gibson.
Full credit to this Salford side, Eddie. They have lifted. It often is the fact, as I mentioned earlier, that a new coach, new rush sweeps clean, perhaps, and a little bit of a lift for the players.
This is Mark Edmondson for St Helens. 3.5 minutes to go, and that's a great run from Mickey Hyam up the middle. Alker got a hand to him, and he was finished off by Broadbent. Here is Darren Britt. Last tackle for St Helens here. Shields, dummy half. Dab through by Martin, and a stab again by Martin, and the ball beats everybody.
Well, he's so influential in this side, Tommy Martin, when and that was a really neat kick. Beautiful footwork, just completely beat the fullback Broadbent. Just a touch too heavy. Well, it'll be a very relieved St Helens to have got 2 points here.
And here's Mark Corvo. But a little
the Red fans, Eddie, they've got to give these players a standing ovation.
They should, and I was just going to say, like a new building site for Carl Harrison, there are the foundations here for something. And that's a great ball. Here's Watson, and here's Alker, they're in again.
Oh, is there a final twist?
Well, they will get a standing ovation now. Malcolm Alker supporting the man with the ball. And they've cut the St Helens defence to ribbons here.
Great pass from Baines. St Helens had just stopped. They thought the game was over. The cue's not on the rack as yet. Watch this from Baines, round the corner. And Watson, who's had a wow of the game, and Alker, like all hookers should do, supports back on the inside.
Holroyd adds the extras. It's 24-28. There's still a couple of minutes left. We had a dramatic finale at Halifax last week. Don't tell me we're going to get a dramatic finale here. And there was a pretty big end to the game from Australia on Sky Sports you might have enjoyed with us this morning. The referee stops the clock because St Helens are just plodding to the halfway line to get the last couple of minutes underway here. Well, it's just 1 minute and 8 seconds. And Steve Sims is prowling the sideline.
Well, he's done a good job, hasn't he? He's prepared them well.
Tommy Martin, good deep kick-off right into Salford territory. Now then, the last hurrah.
Well, Full credit to them. They've kept the ball alive, and that's the reason why they come up with 2 late tries. First to Southern and then Alka.
And they're doing it again. This is Broadbent. Alan Hunt has got Anthony Stewart ahead of him.
Good defence though.
4 more tackles, 40 seconds remaining.
They've got to go for broke.
Baines, off it goes, wide to Holroyd. Holroyd with the kick. Now then, Arnold is fast, but Paul Wellens is quick enough, and Wellens gets it back. Unless anything dramatic happens, and Wellens, you notice, put both hands on the ball as he took the tackle, and the kick was worth the effort maybe, but with 15 seconds remaining, Steve Sims now thinking what might have been.
And it's all over, he knows it, unless Saints come up with a mistake, which is most unlikely. Run from dummy half. Ooh, I wouldn't have passed that ball, Mr. Hyam. It was very dodgy.
There's the last tackle. There's the full-time siren. Salford get the standing ovation. Steve Sims and Ian Millwood, great friends, as I said at half-time. And they've put up a great battle for him, the Salford Reds, for Steve Sims. And I think even though it's St Helens who win the match, Steve Sims will feel that his team have performed a little better than the Saints. Saints have won the game. They get the 2 points. They join Bradford and lead on 20 at the top of the Tetley Super League. But far from convincing display from them, and Salford with much to build on when new boss Carl Harrison moves in to take over the hot seat on Monday. Game played in great spirit in the main. Salford 24, St Helens 28, but it was Salford who had the last 2 words with tries from Southern and Alka. And it's a narrow victory for St Helens, but a victory nonetheless. The